What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about 10 areas on the Foxbody Mustang that may be a concern when it comes to rust. Now, as we all know, the topic of rust comes up in every conversation of Foxbody when you're going to buy one, when you're going to sell one, even in conversations of restoration, etc. So if you enjoyed this video, you got something from the video, hit that thumbs up, hit a comment below, let me know what you guys think. Now, some of you guys may know we live stream on Sundays, and usually on our live stream we have some sort of topic that we talk about. So what we decided to do on the channel was we decided to go ahead and recap what we've done on the live stream, as it's particularly useful for those people that are looking to buy a Foxbody, for those who are just now getting into the genre, that don't know a lot about Fox bodies. But again, if you wanted to check out the full live stream, there'll be a link in the description below that you can actually reference the whole live stream. Lots of information that's gonna not be in this video. But outside of that, guys, enjoy the video. I'll narrate as we go through it. Let's get into the first topic. As you guys all know, the very first topic always talked about is how are the strut towers. First one, and it's going to be the obvious one, right? Everybody knows this one. It's in the thumbnail. Is strut tower. So what we're going to do is, like I said, I'm going to try to take the camera. So bear with me, guys. I'm going to try to take the camera underneath the car because you can see it really well under the car. I've actually repaired my strut tower. What happens is they all get beat up over time here. Break, and you can see my proportion valve's leaking a little bit from the weep hole. What happens is that thing, this is why that one rots out faster. If you go over to the passenger one, I fixed this one too. This car had a bad AC setup, and this panel here gets, you know, hot and cold all the time, and you know the condensation from the actual AC will, you know, make that rot out. So you have it. We went underneath the car. You got to see the strut towers on my car have actually been fixed. It's not uncommon to actually have a car or to have to actually fix a strut tower. But you know, years of condensation from the air, you know, AC compressor setup, you know, the brake booster possibly leaking, the master cylinder leaking, it peels all that paint off the side of the strut tower, exposes the metal to the elements, and it's pretty much, you know, the rust does its thing at that point. Number 2 on my list is going to be floor pans. We'll go through the whole floor pan, but I'm going to show you the area that's going to get hit first. I don't know why it does this, but there's a little area here you can see. And like I said, my car has rust on it, but it's all welded up. You would look at a floor pan, right? And you would say, wow, that floor pan looks good. It's not rotted out at all. But look up here. This is where it gets it. Right here. It's like that on both sides of my car. See, it's sneaking. But when it starts getting up into your side rails here and it starts like rotting the pan out, then it starts to be a problem. Now, moving backwards, you know, cars that are rotted out in the pan means that either the sunroof leaked or there was an issue with, you know, water on the floor. It sat for a long time, but they like to rust up in here. You know, when you on this seam right here, there's a big seam right here. And then obviously, you know, you go up into the body of it, and you know the pans themselves get pretty rusty. But when you're looking at a Foxbody and you're trying to buy it and or sell it and or whatever, the pans may look solid, but you want to look up in here too. So yeah, floor pans are always inevitable at some point. You know, if you have a sunroof car and your car leaked and carpet got wet, sat there for a long time, it's going to rot that pan out. You know, if your sunroof leaked, if your weather stripping leaked, you know, we talked about a lot of that stuff on the live stream. Pans in the seams where they're spot welded together just catch debris and catch rust. 3 is torque boxes. So moving back to my torque boxes here on my black car, up in here is where you want to look, like inside your torque boxes. Like you can see, I've actually tack welded, and I need to do a little bit better of a job, but this is where torque boxes like to rip back here. So you really want to just put a couple tabs of weld there, but you got to look up inside, like where the frame's at. Especially like my muffler's kind of covering it, but inside these holes, here you go, on the other side. See how mine's starting to rust a little bit? She's an old car, guys. You know what I mean? Not good. It's not rusted through yet, but you can see how it gets underneath of the torque box, and you know, this car's seen better days. it's seen probably snow and salt first 10 years of its life. So this is some of the stuff that's going to happen to it. I can't help it. So torque boxes always like to rip here. You want to look inside for rusty areas. You want to look for rips, this whole box being ripped or crunched. Torque boxes are something of major concern because if you screw a torque boxes up, it's kind of difficult to actually get them replaced. Torque boxes get ripped. You know, as I mentioned here in the video, they needed to be welded and reinforced. You got to look inside of them, man. That's where the rust is at. You know, you might look at it and say, oh, the torque boxes are good, but it's all hidden up into the rails. Definitely an area of concern. Door pillars. I gotta be able to write it and see it. So door pillars is pretty simple. It's right here underneath of the door. You can't really see the door pillars. So door pillars are up inside your door here, like behind your fender. Now you can't really see door pillars here per se right now, but what you want is you want to pay attention to the where the hinges are and where the hinges actually mount the door. If you open the door, you can actually see it. I got the car up. I don't know if I can reach it, but you know, if you open the door, you'll be able to see inside. There should be an old sound deadener, and that sound deadener kind of is like one of the things that you should take out because it gets all wet. Yeah, pillar is definitely a concern. It'll affect the way your door hangs if it gets too rotted out. It's a supporting corner of your firewall and your cowl. And like I said, you can see it. You open up your door, shine a light in there, you can see real well. Cars that don't have the splash guards, you can see it really well up and through there. And usually on the corner where that seam's at, that's usually where it gets the most rust and the most water. And there's some things in there, like there's that little sound deadener or insulator area that'll get wet and carry debris, etc. So want to look out for that. Cowl panel. So what happens here in a cowl panel, it doesn't matter, is leaves and pine needles, dirt, debris. We're just going to put debris. So what happens is that stuff gets up in your cowl panel where your wipers are, rots the area out. It's just over. Oh yes, the infamous cowl panel. Debris down in here, you take your wiper arms off, you take your cowl panel off, you get a shot back in there and clean these corners. There's usually a little mesh area where it actually drains at, but there's a lot of debris, leaves, pine needles, mud. Stuff gets up in that mesh, like little grill area underneath this cowl, and it just sits there and rots. Sunroof, we're gonna put T-top as well. The weather strip starts to go bad, and the shit just starts to rot. Now, as far as the actual sunroof, you can see that this weather stripping, how rotted this gets. And this is like this on T-tops too, these weather strippings and these, these moldings, these seals, they end up going bad over time. They get just dry rotted and just years and years of abuse. So what I'm gonna actually show you what actually rusts here. You can actually take the sunroof out. So you could come in here, you could hit these two tabs that bring this little rail down, and your sunroof actually just lifts right out. And as you lift out, you'll see, I've seen better days with these little clippies. And it gets rotted in these channels here. And these are those drains. They get rotted up into the clippy area, and this actual channel all becomes an issue. And like I said, you got to blow these drains out because these drains also in the quarter panel area, because it drains right here and also at the pillar area. Number 7 is lower quarter panel. So we're moving back here to probably one of the worst areas. You can see there's something sticking out of my lower quarter right here. It's a screw. Now this is usually the drain. This area back here is always rotted from the drain from the sunroof stuff. Now my other side here is definitely got rust on it. You can see it, see it? See, you can put my fingers in there. It's not a good area. And here's that rubber I was telling you about, that rubber hole. You guys can see it, the little grommet here. This is like a drain area too, along with the sheet metal. Like that's a drain right there. But I got rust right here on this quarter. And this is where your rear sunroof actually drains to. Yeah, lower sheet metal on the quarter panel. This is another common spot, just like we showed you in the live stream. It's just, sunroof draining there, just years of debris, just getting stuck in there, never being able to actually drain. Once the little drain holes actually get clogged, well, then at that point, it just holds water and condensation, and the rust takes over. So we're going to talk over top of gas tank. One of the issues that we do have is we have rust on our frames, and it's bad. And it gets bad, and it's just from shit from the tires coming up and caking on the, that's one of the concerns of the area. See here, underneath the tank here, this stuff here, all up under here is a seam, just like it is at the same type of seam that is here. Because this area gets real bad. Remember we talked about this, it's starting to rust here. But the backside here, underneath the tank, if you drop this tank, look, you can see my black car doing it right now. See that frame? So some areas are really worse than the others. Yeah, guys, above the tank, that's a tough one. Get rust underneath those rails. They're unprotected, they're gonna get rusty. Kind of a difficult spot to actually check. Usually you can get a pretty good sneak peek if you go in under here and look up into the rails. Moving on to number 9, your wheel wells. Now, what I mean by wheel wells is I mean the upper part of the wheel well, the edges. When you roll your fender, this is the area I'm talking about. You can see as I fender lip this right here, we found that there was a little bit of rust here and it pushed through in the paint. This is a common area underneath here to be rotted out as a problem area for sure. Now you can get sheet metal and fix that, but at this point, you'd have to cut all that out. Because that seam, you can see that seam is just cracked and needs to be redone. So I got a number 10. Obviously would probably be your hatch. Again, I'm not going to bring the car down for the hatch, but I'm gonna piggyback the hatch as also underneath of your wing. Underneath your wing and underneath your hatch right here. Let me open it up and I'll show you. Just like the door seams, they start to chip away and rust starts getting underneath of it. This is an area of concern because there's always water coming down through here, even when you car wash. This seam sealer here starts to fall off, condensation, everything starts to get in here, starts rotting it out. Very, very common spot. You can see here of the door just rusting out. And that can happen in any weather for that matter. Last spot, but I forgot to mention it in the hatch, spare tire well area. Stuff gets in there, water gets in there from debris and rots that pan out as well. There's a lot of pans that are replaceable in this Foxbody Mustang. Don't despair if you have these issues. They can be fixed on the most part, but sometimes they get bad. All right, YouTube, that's pretty much all I got for you tonight. I took the live stream information that we did on Sunday, I condensed it down into a video for you guys to quick reference on the information that we had that day. Guys, I appreciate all the support that you've done with the channel. I encourage you guys to check out that join button below as my channel members help on the channel and have the channel perks, as well as the super thanks button if you want to donate straight to the channel. Outside of that, guys, I just appreciate you following along. I appreciate you enjoying the video. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on the way out. It helps the channel grow. Comment below, let me know what you think. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Thanks for watching.